Hello and welcome back to module number 8. Um, in this module, I always call it the input and output of R. And so what I'm going to do is cover chapter 10 and 11, but I will also going to introduce a package called plyr and how to implement that in the assignment, and you will see how to do that. I will also show you and give you some instructions. So basically to the input output. Again, I'm sure that most of you who already took some computer classes or programming classes, the input is everything that's sent or given to the machine. The output is anything that returned to the user. Textbook give the example of MTA machine. You go to the machine, he reads your code, and then he asks for your request. The output, he might print the instruction on the screen, or print a receipt, or print money. Okay, so input in R. Usually we have inputting out our own data set or input our own files. So the issue of inputting the data set or the file that we are using. So the data can be run by promoting the user for input as well and printing to the monitor. So the following is the basic commands in R: the scan, read line, print, and cat. So we will review that in the context of input output of R. So the scan is with this function you can easily scan a file into R. So the issue is that you need to have a name of the text, the file, and what you're going to do with it. And so in this case, you can split the file into value, or you can split the file based on some premises that you're going to give in order for you to allow that. So the issue here is that the scan allows us to provide the argument blank, so it can scan the file and give us to or promote it into the console or to the RStudio console. So here is a simple example. I'm using a text file that is located at UCLA, and the code is X. I call it as the container. I ask to scan the file, and I'm going to ask it, okay, you're going to scan the file, you're going to look at the list, and it's going to be the age, and I'm going to give it a value of 0. With a name, I'm going to leave it open. So the age, what it will come out of it in the second line is that I'm going to say $age and $name in order for me to start sorting the data out. The read line is also idea of the same thing, that promoting a message, what is your age? And so you will send the given string to the console and it will promote the user input. So for example, fun, and it's going to be a function that I'm going to say, are you satisfy our user? If the answer is unknown, the cat, which is a probability of output, you lied, and the output is else, I knew it, and I will say fun. So the output is again the issue of how can I promote the issue of interaction with the user, but in this case the output of the console of R in that premises. So the print is another way for us to present the data in the console, and some of you already use that in your assignment, where you said, okay, I want you to calculate some functions, and you're going to do that by showing the print of this calculation. So again, example of the print. Cat is a better way of dealing with characters and string. And in this example, I showed you previously, I use the cat in order for me to apply characters where ask the user how does he feels or what is his reaction to R, and by doing that I will be able to do that with the cat function. So print ABC in this example, I can ask to divide the n, and so remember that divide n is a break line, and so in this case it will do that. So again, those are the outputs that you can promote in order for you to see where you are with the R code that you are writing, and those are examples. Reading and writing file is important, and again, until now we did not talk about that, but now when you are starting to think about your final project, you need to think about what is your database. And so read table is one of the functions that are really easy to use, and again giving you the ability to take a data set and apply it. So what is the function of read table means? It means that you have a header, and it means that you're going to have arguments that allow you to enter a row as a header in your data frame automatically. So for example, if you have 5 multiplied by 3 matrix file, so you can use the scan and it will scan the data, but this read.matrix function will read the file and be able to pull it out as it is in order for you to apply it. So when you read a file, you can always use read lines function and it will return the file all at once. So example, the example file is Z0, which has those values, and I will post those file into it, and so you will be able to play with it and say John 25, Mary is 28, and Jim is 19. So you can see that the read lines allowed us to display all those components in one take. The file connection is what is essentially a file object that holds the file in the object that allowed us to call various functions in that particular file. So you can use this by calling a file or URL, and you can have a file called z0.text and make it sure what it connects. So again, those are the types of connection allowed me to take a file and use the file in order to make the connection or apply it. Another function that is really important is the seek function that tells where the argument's file point is. So you can use it to apply when you know, example, if they start with the 0 characters from the start of the file, or you can ask where the space in the file in order for you to apply it. So to read about what it allows or to download the file, again, X paste, and I'm going to paste this data set that is part of our data set, and or to run it, I will add a file and apply it again. Use the cat as a functions, or use the ability to save the file or to print the file as it is. Okay, so this is the way for me to apply it. I just want to add one more thing. Many of you probably will use the simple way, and instead of using those commands, you're going to say file, and you're going to say, okay, I want to upload it to R, and it will show you what is it consist of and how to apply it, and where's the data repository in R in all those examples. So those are the options you have with R, and I hope that the chapter will give you more functions that you will be able to understand in order for you to feel more comfortable applying or uploading data to R in order for it to run. Okay, so we talked about applying an output and we talked about input also, and now back to chapter 11. And we are going to talk about string and string manipulation. So again, string is generally understood as a data type and usually can be applied as array when we are applying to words. That's squeeze elements, typically character, using some character encoding. The string manipulation, again, is the issue, what's behind the idea of input-output, and by doing that, or by understanding that, it will help you to apply a string in order for you to show the input-output of that idea. So in R, string manipulation, while we are talking about reading the files or trying to understand the file, we need to also to manipulate character data or a string. So R has many tools that allowed us to do that. So example, if we will take the example for the string and we will say, okay, I want to be more specific about the patterns that the data is matched to what I expect. It can be false or true or false, and it can be matched to the idea of what we are trying to do. So I'm going to create a pattern, and I'm going to take a string, and I'm going to give what is the string consist of. In this case, ABB, and I'll do different abbreviation for that, and then I'll see if there is a string and a pattern that can be analyzed in order for you to find the idea of it. Paste is another function that conveys its idea or arguments via as character to a character's strings. So it allowed us to make an argument using a vector in order for us to apply and to recycle what is needed. So in this case, paste letter, and it will give me all the alphabetical words, and then paste can give me a little bit more with regard to the idea of set it up and able to add some numerical value to the ABC. Another function that is really important is grep, and it allowed us to looking for specific set of characters in a string, which means that in this case, I'm going to have a container, it has some values in it, and the grep will give us the idea what is it consist of, and it give us the idea the cat dollar, and I'm going to be more specific how I'm going to ignore case as true in order for me to just clean it up in order for me to understand what it is. Another function that is really important is the chair function that determines the size of each element of the vector. And comparison, or a similar function, is the nz chair, which tests whether the elements of the character vector are non-empty string, which is also important. One of the things that we often encounter in large data set that sometimes the vectors are empty and we do not have any clue how to apply or to understand that. So the idea of a functions that allowed us to search and to employ that is really important, and again something that you need to think about for your final project. Sprintf is allowed us to format the string, which means that in this case I establish I equal 8, and the S is the string T, the sequence of percent %D is the %D, and in this case I'm going to apply that in order for us to do that. So the percent sign tells the computer to look at the value to place the string at the end of the function, and the D saying it is a string. So I broke it down in order for me to make sure that I have integer and I have a percentage in order for me to do that. str split allowed us to split into values, which is very useful when we have date match or a time match, which means that I can have a date of some date and I can split it in order for me to understand what is the data consist of. Example, when I have a data from a data set and it has a lot of dates, I can split the data in order for me to see what year it is and what it contain. So R has many tools, and again, I'm not going to go over all the functions, probably because I will end up going more than 1,000 functions that exist, and you can also create your own function out of it. So it's up to you to decide if your functions that you are already has apply to the needs of your data set, and if not, can you update or create a new function in R. Now I'm going to talk about a package, and I want you to start thinking about that in the context of the assignment of the final project. So in this case, this function does not exist in our text. It's one of the most popular package ever, and it allowed us to split data and run function on the split section and combine it back to the original data set. Something, again, unlike anything else that you have in statistical software. So why this package? Because the syntax is the same as all its function. So instead of having to load 5 packages each time, it allowed us to do in one package and to apply that. So in this case, it has control structure, which is comparison operation, and it has the equal, not equal, greater, less than, less, or equal, and of course there is the and or not operation. In the if statements, again, the same thing as we did in the past. If condition is true, then else something else. So example, in this case, the loop, and again, under this package is a very popular function, and we talked about that in module number 5, but again, in this case, this is something that the package allowed us to do, and something that is really comfortable. So example, for X condition, the X container is 1 to 10, the Z is a null, so if I will write a if condition, and so if I will ask the value of Z, he will give me the value of Z. So the function under this package is as follow, and it will be able me to create a data frame. It will be able to create array, and it will also give me the ability to display the data as a list. So for X, you put the format of your data type. The Y is the format you wish to export. So a data frame to a list would look something like that: DLPLY, and it will array the output of that data set. So example, D is equal data frame, and I can count how many times or do a round if, and it will look something like that. So let's take an example. play the functions, and D here summarize mean dot count and equal mean and the count itself, and in this case it will count everything I do, and it will give you an example. The assignment in your assignment for this module is using it, and I'll use this example to outline what you're going to do in order for you to apply that, in order for you to transform or to understand the data set that you have. So again, use this example to account that, and there is more documentation on this package, and the author of this package, again, one of the Michelangelo of the R is Handley Wickham, and this presentation is based on his notes, so you can see the package, see what it entails. So back to our assignment. You will have 2 data sets. You're going to do, again, you're going to apply using the mean as a sex categories. I'm not meaning in a bad sex, but I'm meaning what is it will give you. It will give you the names with the age and number, and so it will give you that. And then as a data frame, what is going to apply. And so in this case, you're going to apply. You're going to have an X with a name, age, sex, and grade. And in this case, you're going to use the sex and the transformation of the grade average, which will be equal to the mean, in order for you to see what is the average grade and how to apply it. And again, sort the data and to write a table out of it. It will look something like that. So again, this is something that I will share with you so you will have a better way to understand it, and you're going to post your findings on your blog. And I don't want only just the result, I want something more. I want your input. What was difficult? What was easy? And what is the function that you think you're going to use it in what case in the future. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoy it, and until next time, have fun.